Greetings and love. Mistakes can only be made if awareness is scarce. If God knows everything, how can He make a mistake? Welcome to the first version of References to be Checked. This is a series where I share something of great value to me with you. It may be a song, a book, an album, a movie. It's merely a reference to be checked. Everything I mention in this series that you are unaware of or never experienced, I recommend that you check it. On this series, I would like to talk about a book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. A book by Stephen R. Covey, which brings about powerful lessons in personal change, personal growth. Yes, very down to earth, authentic brother Stephen R. Covey, rest his soul. Now, I got this book from Emmanuel Morgan. Yes, Emmanuel Morgan is the son of one of the Morgan Heritage members. I don't remember if it's Gramps or which of them. Yes, and when I was going to high school, Paul Bogle High School, Emmanuel and his twin brother, Alalu Morgan, was a part of our institution as students. And he gave me this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Emmanuel Morgan was one of the first man I've seen who knew who he was. Yes. I remember there were 2 females, going at it over him. Morgan Heritage son, they wanted him. One was the queen of the nerds and one was a popular girl, the queen of the popular girls. And I remember, I think I was a prefect at the time. I remember they going to the guidance counselor office and I was eavesdropping. And when the guidance counselor, Mrs. Taylor, Love, asked Emmanuel, which of them do you like? He said, sorry to say, none of them. He knew who he was. Now, this book, 7 Habits, it so happened I read it twice. And while having a psychotic episode in Maypen, I gave it to a toddler, a youth, no more than 7 years old. He couldn't have been, maybe 8. Worst case scenario 9. I gave it to him and I've never been back there at that location to check on him or know what's happening. Great book, powerful book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Life is spiritual. Why was Morgan Heritage sons at Paul Bogle High School while I was going there? Am I just conceited and think the world revolves around me? Or is there a hidden kingdom with kings and queens that no one is noticing, like Jonah Gang says on the track with Lupe Fiasco? Kingdom. No, I think that track is actually called Freedom. So as an Eastern Star from St. Thomas, the root of Morgan Heritage, Taurus Riley and these great men, it is my absolute pleasure to share with you this beautiful reference, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So in this book, Stephen R. Covey endeavors to share 7 habits that he thinks can propel you to stratospheric success, not just in society's eyes, but personal success, congruence in your relationships, management of your time, financial freedom, and spiritual abundance or spiritual tranquility. The first habit he mentioned is to be proactive. Being proactive means you don't react. You take your own initiative. It also means that you choose your response between stimulus and your reaction. There is a space in which you should use to choose your reaction. Beautiful habit. The first step in taking yourself out of dependence to independence. Habit 2. He encourages us to begin with the end in the mind. Beautiful chapter. Because in this chapter, it talks about you going to a funeral. This is a visual process. You go to the funeral and people are in black, people are mourning, a lot of powerful people, a lot of regular people in society's eyes are there. You walk up to the casket, the coffin, and you look on this deceased person, and to your dismay, it is you. At this funeral service, 3 persons are to speak. Let's say 4 persons, 1 from your high school, 1 from your college, 1 from your religious organization, and 1 from your workplace. You will then write what all of these 4 people will say about you, and that will be your vision statement. You will live that life so that when you actually die, they say these things. Red pills for the matrix. That is beginning with the end in the mind. The third habit, encourage you to put first things first. I remember speaking with my brother in Canada, and he said to me, you don't know what's important. And I took it as him being like he is condescending because he's older than me and trying to play that maturity game. But I realized he was right. Putting first things first means that even though the biggest name you can think of is at the concert, if you have to stay home with your daughter, you have to stay home with your daughter to do her homework. Reference to be checked. The 7 habits of highly effective people. The 4th habit is think win-win. A lot of people like to exploit others. I've been guilty of such a crime. Whenever you endeavor to ask a favor, please ensure that whatever you are asking that person to do doesn't only benefit you. Think win-win in every situation. In a conflict, think win-win. If there is a disagreement, there is always a way for you to meet in the middle. A worthy compromise. Think win-win, never be selfish. The 5th habit encourages us to seek first to understand, then to be understood. How can you be speaking to me and you're responding to me without understanding what I said? How many things are there that I could have possibly said? A billion in just one language. So what are you responding? What are the chances of you saying the right thing in response if you don't understand me? 1 in a billion in one language. The 6th album. That's a mistake, guys. The 6th habit encourages us to synergize. Synergize is basically when you have mastered all 5 and you are now capable of collaboration with others who have mastered all 5. And the synergy is where beautiful, unplanned, spontaneous, magic, miracles happen, because you are now at a stage of interdependence where you realize that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And we are stronger together, because if there is no enemy on the inside, the enemy outside could never hurt us. Reference to be checked. The 7th and last habit is to sharpen the saw. So when sharpening the saw, you would go over all 7 habits, all 6 habits, reinforce them. A thought planted becomes an action planted becomes an habit planted creates a character planted brings you a destiny. The 7 habits of highly effective people are very good read. Right? Yes. Very brilliant author, timeless novel. This is the book I saw the quoting for the first time by David Starr Jordan that said, there is no real excellence in all this world which can be separated from right living. How can you be great if what you are doing is not in alignment with excellence? And how can you be excellent if you are not doing what is right? And though it is hard to do what is right and easy to do what is easier, going down that path of least resistance, I encourage you to make an effort, because doing what is hard will make your life easy, but doing what is easy will inevitably make your life hard. Reference to be checked. This is Red Pills for the Matrix. It's a new series where I'll be sharing references that I think you should check. That young man in Maypen, I wonder what happened to him. I gave him that book in 2018. Yes, I think 2018 when I was at Rada, Maypen, Righteous. That is it. This is Red Pills for the Matrix. Reference to be checked. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Thank you for this book, Emmanuel Morgan. Emmanuel Morgan, one of the first person I met who knew who he was. 2 hottest most sought after young women at Paul Bogle High School fighting over this young man, and he was interested in none of them. The second guy I met who gave me a similar impression like Emmanuel Morgan, his name is Ijavan. We went to the College of Agriculture in Portland together. Yes, Ijavan is the only student I saw who came to that school, reject their food, reject their academia, and spent the few days he did there telling everyone that Selassie is God. I cannot prove or disprove the validity or legitimacy of that statement, but he knew who he was. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a very good read. It tells you about paradigms, the fact that even though you are a person may disagree with you and you disagree with this person, it doesn't mean you are wrong or this person is wrong. You could both be right, but just looking from different points of view. This is the first time I'm trying this and my mother is dying of laughter in her room, listening to me and talking on the phone with someone. She must be thinking I'm crazy. If sanity means conformity, I'm comfortable being mad. Red Pills for the Matrix. References to be checked. Yes. Yes, so Ijavan believed, and I don't know if he still believes, but I think he still believes that Selassie is the modern Messiah. Yes. Because Elijah Muhammad said that if you believe something now and you don't believe it at some future time, you didn't believe in the first place. Reference to be checked. This information was expressed in Malcolm X's autobiography written by Alexei Haley, the same author who wrote Roots. Reference to be checked. Red Pills for the Matrix. Thank you for stopping by. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Get you a copy and watch yourself excel to the highest level. There is only one other person I met who knew of this book when I went to college, and I can't remember if I was the one who introduced it to him. His name is Anthony Vassell. Great youth. Yes. Reference to be checked. Love will connect on a next reference to be checked. Stay safe. No, stay dangerous. Don't play defense. Thank you for stopping in. I wanted to bring it to 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm great and underrated nonetheless. Yes, I'm gonna make it. Reference to be checked.